I first do want to thank Mr. Leonsis for giving us the responsibility to be able to kind of lead on a night like this, be able to give us the resource and the guidance for Mike and I to be able to make an imprint on our team. I think the most important thing tonight is we got better. I feel like we're adding some really good pieces to the program. Obviously, there's been a lot going on this week. Some things that we can't necessarily talk about right now, but we will talk about when the time allows. But I've been really, really impressed with Michael's leadership and his ability to really think creatively, to push us forward in a way where I think we're going to benefit and be on the same page moving forward. So we'll spend more time talking about that tonight. I just want to thank everybody that was in the draft room. Brett, Frank, Johnny, all the scouts, Travis. It was a real team effort. We came together, as you know, in a short period of time, and being in that draft room, I didn't feel like we missed a beat at all. We were very well prepared, had a lot of different things coming at us, and you couldn't tell that it was our first draft together. So that's probably what I'm most proud about tonight, and I think we got a lot to build on as a staff, and that's exciting. But moving forward, we invested in some players that we're excited about. I guess I can speak first to Bilal Coulibaly, who we were able to spend a little time with here in D.C. He's a guy that is the fourth youngest player in the draft at 18 years old. We're really, really excited. We got a player that we targeted, and that's important. He's a useful, athletic, long, growing body, plays two sides of the ball, and he's got a hunger and a passion and a work ethic that you don't see in a lot of young players. If you follow his career, we were able to track him a little bit last year in the summertime, playing his U18 for France, and you just saw him coming on. I think during the summer after that, they played against a USA team that actually had some former NBA players' sons on it, and you could see his competitiveness there. And he started the season playing for the 𝗙𝗢𝗄𝗧 League, the under-21 league in France. Just kept playing, kept going, kept chipping away. Scouting was a little different then. I didn't know our staff, but I know our staff was watching him, just reading through the reports. And then I was able to kind of watch him a little bit more. And then during the season, the pro team took a couple injuries, and he was able to step in, and he wasn't afraid. He really attacked it, made his mark on the defensive end, and then a player stepped away. They had some injuries, and they started putting the ball in his hands. So what some people don't know, or you guys might know, he grew 6 to 7 inches in like one summer. So he had guard skills and then became this 6'7", long, athletic, lanky guy. And he kept those ball skills and was able to do more on the ball and shot 50% in the playoffs, and went from a guy at the beginning of the season who was playing wasn't playing Pro A, playing 𝗙𝗢𝗄𝗧, to starting in the finals in one of the best leagues in the Europe. So that showed us a lot of growth when we got him here to DC and just talked to him, got to know him as a person. We feel pretty confident he'll continue that trajectory, and we're excited to have him. And I will say with Tristan, again, young, 20 years old, he's played internationally. I feel like I've watched him for a long time now, since he was a youth as well. With him, 7 feet, skilled, can pass, can shoot, has played in ACB, has played in EuroLeague games. They're just high-level competitors and guys that know how to play basketball, and we're excited to be able to have them in the Wizards program.
With Coulibaly.
Yeah, we spent some time at dinner making sure I pronounced it correctly. So first thing I did when he called me was pronounce his name correctly. He was excited.
What can you say about his defensive versatility and his potential on that end of the floor?
Yeah, it's the thing that pops out right away when you see the 7'2" length. For a guard, he's 99th percentile for his position in height. He's 99th percentile in his position for length. And if you do all the measurements and see him run and jump, he's probably 99th percentile on that too. But with that comes an effort. And he's a guy that takes contact, dishes out on offense, but defensively he can guard on the ball, guard off the ball. We see him as a guy that can switch and be versatile, and he embraces that. So for us, having a defensive mindset first as a young player, it's going to be hard to get on the court, as we know for young guys, but he's got the passion and motivation to be able to get it first on the floor defensively.
Well, I'm sure you guys see teenagers every day where the growth kind of spurt is really quick from that 16 to 18. I know he literally had a growth spurt, but what about his kind of ability to step into that bigger role and the growth you saw from him in such a short period of time. Is there something special? Is that kind of normal what you saw, abnormal?
Definitely different. You see guys take strides, but when it happens physically and skillfully at the same time, that's a little rare. He hasn't been playing serious professional basketball for a long time, so the French league is a great league. So to see that, it caught your eye. You went back and at the beginning of the year, you saw it. I went back end of April, early May, saw it again, and then you see him in workouts and follow him on TV, follow him on the game tape. Then you get him in the gym here, and you're like, this is a ball of clay. It could take some time, but from where he went from a short amount of time to where we think he can go, that's the exciting part. And we'll embrace that. We'll put resources around him to try to help him maximize himself. And at the end of the day, he has the physical tools, but he's also a very skilled player. So once that comes together, I think you'll have the player we're looking for and the reason why we drafted him so high.
Do you have a couple areas of growth that are kind of his biggest areas of growth?
I would say it's going to take some time just to get used to playing with the physicality of the NBA like it will with most rookies. Seeing him play with the ball a little bit more, we want to definitely explore that through summer league and explore that early on in his career and kind of see where he left off there. So it takes time to get used to the schedule, the grind of the 82 games versus what he was playing there. So normal things for a rookie, but for him, just knowing who he is, he'll eat that stuff up.
Well, one of the things that people were saying before the draft about him was that he was very talented, but because he's very young and hadn't played on that highest stage yet, that the development piece might take him a little longer. So I wonder if that kind of fits what you guys are thinking in terms of long-term plays and being able or willing to kind of live with those growing pains over the next couple of years.
I think that's a very fair statement. With him, you see what's going on down the line. We won't take short-sighted approaches in the draft. We'll take the guy who we think will be the best long-term player, the best long-term fit. And with him, it's going to take a little while. We know that. And we have the confidence in the coaching staff, and we have the support from ownership to be able to take that approach and make sure that we're not settling and we can go take a risk or go take further time to do something. And with him, it's we don't feel like it's a risk. We feel like it's a player that can come in and play and just continue to chip away, continue to get better. But his future is much brighter than his current.
You guys are new here, and what I mean by that is not a pejorative. I'm not saying
Very
that.
new.
I'm saying
I'm still using my GPS.
No,
now.
I know. It's not a pejorative. What I mean is, the fan base has seen all this turnover and tumult in the last 7 days, and they're kind of wondering, okay, what's the payoff? And he could be the best player or one of the best players in a couple of years, but the immediacy of fan gratification may not mesh with that. So how do you kind of weigh those two things?
So I'll learn the fans and be able to speak the language here a little bit. But I would say when Mike and I were hired, we spent a lot of time with Mr. Leonsis to talk through what it was looking like moving forward. And we were able to kind of declare a path and look at different options. I think a lot of that stuff will come to the light here when we're allowed to talk about everything. But there is a plan in place. He fits the plan very, very well. I think if you look at the team that we will eventually be able to put on the floor this year, you'll be a team you'll be proud of. I think you'll be a team that'll compete and have the substance that we're looking for to help young players play as well. So we'll surround the guys that we're adding and some of the young guys that we have on our roster right now with good veteran players that will play stylistically a way we want and bring what we want inside the walls as well. So there's a plan in place. We can't talk through it all, but there will come a day where we can have those conversations and dig a little deeper on that stuff.
Will, did I hear you correctly that he visited Washington and you got to spend some time with him here? Is that, or were you referring to Zoom calls or seeing him? Okay.
He came through DCA. Yeah, DCA, right? I got it right? Yeah. Okay. He came through DCA. He was here. He was here. Reagan National.
Old people call
Yeah.
it national.
Dulles is far. That's what I've learned. Dulles is far. Okay, got it. DCA. He came through DCA and spent some time here in Washington, D.C.
And when was that? Was that within the last 2 weeks?
It was before the draft, yep. Well, he was playing up until a week ago, so his season recently ended. So him and and Victor and everyone on that team had a tremendous season and made it to the finals of the Pro A League in France. So he's been playing for a while. So
It had to have been within the last 2 weeks in part because you've only been here 2 weeks.
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks today, actually. Yeah, 2 weeks today.
How do you describe him as a person and kind of his spirit, his competitive spirit?
I'm glad you asked that because I should have led with that. The passion that you see the second you walk into the gym, he's the guy running around, positive energy. But the time we walked into the hotel room, picked him up, and then got him in the car. We like to spend like individual time with guys, get him in the car, drive around the city, take him to dinner, let him loosen up and get to know us a little bit, but also get to know him. He's a family guy. I think his mom, dad, and 2 sisters are going to be here this weekend and kind of see DC. He's excited to learn about the city. He comes from humble beginnings. Nothing was handed to him. And we had a real deep conversation on like what drives you, what motivates you. There's going to be some setbacks for all rookies. You're going to be in a different location. Spotlight's going to be a little brighter here. What's going to drive you? What's going to motivate you? What's going to push you? And are you ready for those things? And his personality is bring it on. I'm ready for it. And that's what I loved about him. And I think he'll fit it very well with the guys in the locker room. He's got an energy, a work ethic, a passion that connects and hopefully unites the group.
What needs to be put in place to ensure that he has the resources and the help to develop to the degree that he needs to develop?
Yeah, I think it'd be the same with every player. We take a holistic approach in all that we do. We'll make sure that everything's individualized for all the players we add in, veteran, rookies. It doesn't matter. We'll make sure that we put them in the best situation when they're taking care of the bodies, the type of food they need to eat, the specific weight training program that they need to be on. We'll make sure that they're spending time dealing with a specific plan on the court, but also off the court, making sure that he's getting acclimated into the city, his family, and those things of that nature. So it's not just on the court things, and we have the people in place and the resources in place to make sure that we can do that.